Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening one more time. I hope that you're all doing well and having a exceptional day and are staying motivated during these holiday seasons. My name is Jason T. Mahoney, better known as the Motivator. Looking forward to having an awesome show tonight as we talk about eye health and health in general. I am here representing the National Optometric Foundation with the Eye Empowerment program that has been just a success the last few months to really impact the community, focus on vision health. Tonight, we have the opportunity to have a panel discussion with a great group of individuals that are professionals and experts in their field of health. It may be eye health, it may be public health, physical health, but we're here to really talk about health and become healthy adults. So if you're looking at this on Facebook and or Instagram, please like and share. Give some comments. Go and tell a friend to let somebody know that we're on and live. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I would like to introduce to you all the funder behind everything that we're doing with the National Optometric Foundation and the National Optometric Association. And that is the one and only Miss Tracy Scott. Tracy Scott is a leader extraordinaire, director, just a good person that I've come to know in this process. And at this time, I'm going to introduce Tracy. She is with the National Vision organization. And so, Tracy, just tell us a little bit about you and what's kind of going on and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hi, Jason. Thank you, everybody. I'm Tracy Scott. Like Jason said, our organizations have been working very closely together for quite some time now, but just recently have Jason and Dr. Reynolds, myself and my team been able to work hand in hand together, which has just been fantastic. I'm the director of our culture, DEI, and philanthropy team. It's a mouthful. We do a lot, but we just stay busy and we love the work that we get to do. Our partnership with the NOA and the NOF has given us the opportunity to provide support for the eye empowerment initiatives that you all have that focus on the 3 silent killers, the Achieve program, and the Community Partners program. And I just met some of the community partners earlier before we logged on. So we're excited. We've been able to provide a National Vision Cares vouchers for individuals and families from those historically marginalized groups who need a helping hand. And through the voucher, they receive a comprehensive eye exam and a complete pair of glasses, any age, any prescription. So that's one of the things that I think we champion the most within our organization, is that we can help people right away with their most immediate need of eye care. And working with Dr. Reynolds and Jason and the team has been very fulfilling. So we get to see where they've taken the Community Partners program, and we just look forward to continuing to work with you all in 2023. So we're very excited.
Awesome. Tracy, what has been the most exciting part just about all of this, that what we're working together with the National Optometric Foundation and National Vision? What has just been the biggest excitement for you through this process?
I think for me personally, it's been seeing the Community Partners program grow. Jason, you may remember, I think in some, we hadn't met you in some of our earlier conversations, but we knew that Dr. Reynolds and the team definitely had a great plan in mind. And then when you joined that team and we were able to meet with you on a regular basis, to see you all take that program from inception, and then on our last meeting with you, to see the number of people you've been able to help in communities around the country has just been the most phenomenal thing. We're still talking about it. We're very excited about it.
Well, it was really a joy to work on this project with the National Optometric Foundation and really serve communities. We were able to serve seniors. We were able to serve at least over 400 seniors at one point through one of our community partners. So we're serving close to over 1,000 individuals through this. And so we appreciate what you all are doing at National Vision to support these marginalized communities. And tonight you'll hear from a panel of experts, and you're going to hear us talk a little bit about those marginalized communities and what we can do to improve just that overall health for our community. So thank you for all that you do.
You're fantastic. You're welcome. Thank you all.
So you've just heard from Tracy Scott with the National Visions Organization. Again, please do some like and share. Let someone know that you're listening, and just share with somebody with this good news, because tonight we're going to talk about health and how to address those health disparities in various communities. So we're going to go forward, and we're going to bring forth our great panel for tonight. And our first panelist that we're going to bring forth is the one and only Courtney June Wilson. Courtney June Wilson is a native of Sumter, South Carolina. She's a phenomenal individual who does a lot of work in the community. She's a public health professional. She's a mover and a shaker. She's a member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She has a heart of gold, but most of all, she is your individual who has been that public health educator, that college professor, that individual that is in the community addressing health disparities in various communities. And so, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and give some likes and some hearts for Courtney June Wilson. Hello, Courtney.
Good evening, Mr. Mahoney.
How are you doing?
I am well, and yourself?
Good. So we do gonna have the little game before you introduce yourself. You got about 30, gonna call 30 seconds to win it. So your word for tonight, we're gonna give you a word, and you just have to talk about how it relates to your profession, right? So your word for tonight, you ready? Can I get a drum roll from somebody? Your word for tonight is grapes.
Oh. Yes.
So introduce yourself with grapes as far as your profession. How does that relate to your profession?
Well, thank you for giving me grapes, and as I am dressed in great purple attire, with my profession as a health educator in the form of grapes bundles. I think of bundles. So in my expertise as a college professor serving in the capacity of residential care, maternal child health, and just clinical research, when I think of bundles and in this field, you have to collectively bring everybody together so that you can get everybody on the same page. And with working in bundles and just thinking of bundles and just purple being regal and royalty, I always want to service individuals and collectively bring them together. They get the best service that can be made available. And with that collectively, it just makes me think about a quote from Les Brown: as soon as you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. So if one person in an effective bundle opens their mouth, it trickles. So one individual that can make it out and get the word out in service in the way of health advocacy and promotion, health promotion and behavioral aspects from a positive picture. When we work in bundles, as in grapes, we will thrive. And also, if you know of a grapevine, with vines, you have to prune. So there comes pruning. So when you prune, you know you have to get ready for that season. So we are indeed in a season of growth and prosperity. And as a health professional, health educator, it is my pleasure and honor to do just that and keep working in the function of bundles that I bring everybody along the way.
I love it. I love how you twisted that. I thought you were going to talk about healthy eating, but I love how you talked about the bundles. See, listen, if you are not tuned in, these are some professionals here, highly educated, that's really going to talk to us really, really great tonight. So, Courtney, you're going to go back in the green room, and I'm going to bring you back out a little bit later when we get to the panel, okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So again, if you're just chiming in, this is a webinar that is sponsored by the National Optometric Foundation Association. Please visit the website, www.nationaloptometricfoundation.com, and subscribe to the page. Receive information on the 3 silent killers. Receive information on how to care for your eye. Please support this awesome organization that is doing great work in the community. So at this time, we're going to bring up our next panelist, the one and only Charles L. Ashley. Charles is a licensed clinical social worker associate, and what that means is that he's able to do clinical services to support those in our community through counseling, group work, assessments, leveling, et cetera, to really support those individuals to address their mental health and their overall mental health well-being. And so Charles is a phenomenal member of the one and only Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the frat so nice they named it twice. Ladies and gentlemen, give us some hearts and some likes and shares as we bring to the forefront Mr. Charles L. Ashley.
Appreciate it.
Good evening, Charles.
Peace, everybody. How you doing? Excited to be here. Definitely glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you. So are you ready for your word so you can tie that word in to introduce?
We're going to see what we can do.
All right. Your word is a two-word. Your word is writing pad. Writing pad. You have two words, writing pad.
Something that we use on a regular writing pad. Writing pad in regards to this, I think of assessments. I think of documentation. I think of, making sure that we have everything, write it down, make it plain in regards to keeping up with our clients' information from the root to the fruit. I mean, a notepad is needed for therapy sessions. A notepad is needed for, scheduling what we need to do in a timely fashion, making sure we're being punctual. So I would say, a notepad. And what was the other word? You said notepad and what else?
It was just notepad, writing pad, notepad.
Notepad. Yeah, I would say notepad is definitely a part of. Like I said, it's one on my lap right now. It's definitely a part of my journey and trajectory in my career as a therapist.
Good deal. Thank you. So listen, we're going to put you in the green room, and we'll be back out in a few minutes to get the panel started.
See.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Again, if you're just tuning in, please like and share this live. Again, we're here tonight to talk about health, mental health, physical health, and public health, how we can live a healthy lifestyle in our community, decrease those disparities so we can really support our community. So at this time, the next person that I'm going to call up is the one and only Keisha L. Hayes. And when I tell you that this young lady is doing groundbreaking work, locally as well as nationally on an international level in the healthcare industry, especially caring for our aging beauties, our seniors. And so I want to bring to the front the one and only Keisha L. Hayes, and she's a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Keisha, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Good. So let's see. Your word for this evening will be light bulb.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so when I think of a light bulb, I think of brightness and it shining up anything. So when I talk about what I do in regards to the organizations that I run, I think of the caregivers and our aging beauties, our older adults. They shine so bright in our world. Our caregivers do things that are so heroic, and they take care of individuals that sometimes we can't take care of. They're selfless, they work tirelessly, and they shine so bright and sometimes don't get the recognition that they deserve. Our aging beauties, our older adults, the people who have exemplary wisdom, who should be celebrated and valued daily, they just shine because these are the people that have paved the way for us, that have made it possible for me to sit on this panel tonight and sit at every table that I often sit at during my work. So that's what I would say about the things that I do.
Awesome. Thank you. Love that light bulb. So we're going to put you in the green room and we'll bring you out in a few moments.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Again, if you're just joining us, we are having a panel discussion sponsored by the National Optometric Foundation in partnership with National Vision as well as the National Optometric Association. Please like and share this. Give us some heart, give us some love. And also, if you have any questions and or comments throughout the night, please type them in the comment section, and we will actually answer your questions in the midst of the dialogue tonight. So again, please like and share. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel for National Optometric Foundation, and also visit the website, nationaloptometricfoundation.com. So at this time, we're going to bring up your next panelist. This brother is just a leader in everything that he does. He's an optometrist. He's the Avon man. He's Mr. Positivity. He's doing a lot of great things in the community, but most of all, he is a person with a servant heart that believes in helping individuals get to that next level in their life. The one and only Dr. Timothy O. Brown. Doc, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jason, I'm so glad to be on the show with you tonight.
Hey, looking forward to it. So are you ready for your word?
Jason, you and the words, man. I'll just bring it on. Just bring it on.
So your word is phone charger. Phone charger.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for having me on the show. Dr. Timothy Brown, optometrist with my wife at Insight Family Eye Care in Augusta, Georgia. And we specialize in pediatric eye care and vision therapy. I'm also the treasurer for the National Optometric Foundation. So I'm excited to have Jason partner with us and partner with National Vision as we partner with community partners doing great things within their community to expand eye care, to expand the education that's needed in different communities. And I want to encourage everybody to keep your phone charged, because you never know when you're going to need it. You never know when you're going to capture that moment out there while you're traveling from one place to another. And capturing those moments, it's important. It's important to look back on the great things that we have accomplished as we're traveling down this road called life. So I'm excited to share this opportunity with our panelists and looking forward to educating the public tonight there as we speak.
Cool deal. Cool deal. Thank you very much, Dr. Brown. So we'll put you in the green room. We'll bring you out with everyone else in a few seconds. So if you're just tuning in again, please like and share this live. Again, we're going to talk about health, something that is important to each and every last one of us. If we don't take care of our health, then we're going to find ourselves in situations that are just really not good for us. Again, please visit the website, www.nationaloptometricfoundation.com, to learn a little bit more about the organization. Please also like and subscribe to the page. Again, we want you to be active and we want you to be engaged. So if you all can bring the panel back for me, please. Hello, Dr. Mullins. Dev, you can bring all the panel members back for me. Thank you. Awesome, awesome. Look at this great panel of professionals. All right, so your first question is, all of you are in the healthcare industry, and unfortunately sometimes individuals, they have so many medical concerns, different concerns, and they have to see so many providers, and sometimes they forget about the information, or providers don't talk. Can you all talk about the importance of having a comprehensive medical provider team that everybody's working together? So why is that important to have a comprehensive team approach when we're addressing medical, mental health, physical, et cetera, concerns with our patients? So anyone can answer that for me, please.
Basically, being professionals. I mean, in regards to, like, you want people who are going to be, like I said earlier, punctual, to know what they're doing. You don't want this to be, some slanky janky type something. You want to make sure that the clients are getting the best quality service in regards to their clinicians, in regards to being a mental health AC and the therapist. We want to make sure that we are doing the best we can to make sure that they are not getting having any issues in regards to making sure that the need is met in regards to advocating for them in the community, making sure that we set certain goals and those goals get met, and also sometimes making sure that it might not be the best fit. Sometimes you have to go through a couple of therapists to be able to figure out the right one. So being effective, that's key within this field. Like, you have to be basically on point with that.
I also think it's great because the collaboration increases patient satisfaction. And I believe that all of the providers who are working together for a common goal will actually bring their strengths so that it can make it more efficient for the patient. And that collaboration is what causes the patient to feel as if everybody is working as a team to ensure that they get the best care. And that improves and makes patient satisfaction go all the way up.
Yes, I also want to comment as well that it provides cohesiveness. So as we're talking today, we'll be bringing or shining light on diabetes, high blood pressure, and eye health. When you have a cohesive network of providers, you can then provide the appropriate referrals for your patients or your clients. Because a lot of times, as a health provider or healthcare professional, we are the advocates and the voice for those individuals. And when we have that cohesiveness across the board, we can tailor their actual healthcare services, can be tailor-made to their effectiveness and how they have their needs met in regards to obtaining optimal care.
Yes, I agree with the panelists. Uh, Having a team of physicians, providers working together for best care of the patient is the key that we all should try to make sure that we're reaching for there. I know in the eye care field, we work with a team of providers when it comes to your optician, to the optometrist, to your ophthalmologist, and even over to our patient's primary care provider as well. If there's something that the optometrists, we're known as the gatekeepers of healthcare system because sometimes we may notice things that's going on abnormal with the patient's eye, the back of their eye, the retina, and we can refer them out for further testing with their primary care provider. So it's always good to have a team of physicians together that's having an extra eye looking at the information that you have for a patient and trying to take the necessary pathway to give the best care to that patient as well.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our next question will focus on there are a lot of disparities right now. So, for example, a study found that white, non-Hispanic children are more likely to receive vision screening or eye examination, followed by Hispanics and Black children. Another statistic showed that adult Blacks and African Americans are more likely to have feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness than adult whites. Another says that Black adults are at a higher risk of developing diabetes due to genetic variations and social determinants of health. Another study revealed that unlike their counterparts, African American older adults experience significant health disparities, including lower life expectancies. When you hear these disparities as it relates to a particular group of particular community, what can we do in the community to decrease these disparities as a community?
When I think of everything that you stated, especially, our older adults, when I think of African American older adults, our aging population, sometimes, I think that they don't, they are not involved the way that they need to in their health because they may not have someone around that can help them ensure that they are getting regular checkups at the doctor's offices. Some are alone, and so they don't have the support. I think the more we do these webinars and these sessions to educate the community, that's going to help. Also, when we educate caregivers who may be taking care of these individuals who may not have family around, we can educate them so that they know what to say to those older adults to help them better understand how important it is.
Yes, I absolutely agree with Ms. Hayes. Just from experience as a caregiver, my father, which passed away, but he was diabetic, and it takes a village. The village must be educated, meaning the family unit, loved ones, friends, so that if they notice there are some changes, it can be made known. And then also with the family unit, advocating in the doctor's offices, making sure that the loved one that actually is going on the journey of this particular health disparity, that there is a loved one involved in the health care plan. A lot of times what I've noticed working in residential care, there'll be elders that are going to appointments by themselves, and doctors will use terminology. And I've also had experience as social work as well, where I advocated and I had to actually stop a medical doctor and say, hey, listen, I advocate on this client's behalf. However, we need to make sure that the terminology is feasible for both, meaning my client can understand, so that when we talk about the healthcare plan going home, we know the effective things to put in place. But it is just very, very important that family and friends, if you can designate one person or want more than one, go into these appointments with these physicians and actually advocate on your loved one's behalf, because there will be questions and there will be steps made or provided or presented to that actual individual that they may not understand, but there's a solid village that can support them and help them through those steps, it'll be way more effective.
Absolutely. I agree with her. I think a lot of the gap that happens in healthcare is due to education, proper education, having someone there to advocate on the patient's behalf, having a family member that can come in with that patient so that you have a second set of ears, hearing what the doctor is going over with the patient. I think that's very important. I applaud a lot of the older adults who are going to healthcare appointments with their mother, their father, maybe a neighbor, just to make sure that you have someone there that's going to listen and be able to break things down, or make sure that the doctor break things down so that the patient can understand. Patient education is very important. We slow things down at Insight Family Eye Care so that we make sure that our patients understand our findings, our pathway going forward, and then giving them the opportunity to be able to ask questions as well there too. We know in the eye care field that when there are disparities, there's challenges with access to the healthcare. It leads to vision loss and vision impairment, and those things increase with age there. So we want to make sure that someone's there to help speak on behalf of the patient, and make sure that someone's there to help break things down so that they understand what's going on when it comes to their health.
Thank you.
Jason, a lot of times, I'm sorry.
It's correct. No problem. You go ahead.
I was just going to say too, a lot of times people don't want to mention about the trust issue that is in the healthcare system. A lot of times certain populations and ethnic backgrounds, they don't trust the healthcare system enough to even, go sometimes. That's a huge thing that people sometimes don't talk about, and the effects of trust in our healthcare system, and how it allows older adults and certain individuals to not even rely on the healthcare fundamentals that they have at their disposal. So I think that's important to bring up too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I definitely agree with everybody on the panel. Like you have to de-educate in order to re-educate. You have to de-educate and re-educate. So that means that a lot of things that in our culture that our parents and grandparents traditionally learned, that doesn't make it traditionally correct. And being ready to receive that information, that is key. Being ready to receive that information. So having somebody who identifies with them in the community, that is important as well. Somebody that looks like them. Again, a lot of times when you go to these providers, they don't look like you. They don't care about you. At least it feels that way sometimes, So I think having somebody in the family that can be an advocate to connect the dots to providers who look like us, and also us, what we're doing, going into the community and educating the community on certain natures of everything that y'all all said. That's key as well. But yeah, definitely we want to make sure that we continue to do that and move in that direction.
Wow. So each of you hit. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was one quick thing that came to mind. I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna wrap up so we can go to the next thing. I thought about the paralytic man. We need village people that will get, if we can't get you through the door, we're gonna go to the roof. We're gonna find every kind of avenue to get you in there. Because just being a caregiver to my father that passed away, now caregiver to my mother, physicians will give a plan. And when you know your parent or loved one's health condition and you have the medical record before you, I'm not a medical doctor, but I've worked in residential care, and as adjunct comms professor, I know the terminology, I know the things that need to happen. And in that advocacy, their faith is what got the help. So if you have a village that has a strong faith that's going to advocate, the doctors will respond. Because a lot of times, you get that revolving door like, whoop, see you, boo, bye. But when you hold the brake, I got these questions. Wait a minute. Can we look at this assessment? He's diabetic, but can we check his feet? Because you looking here, we're looking at the eyes. Yes, that's an aspect, but I see a sore. So when you have that,
right.
as I say, lower into the room approach, you have then become an advocate. Because a lot of people think it could be in a medical position. Day-to-day people, you advocates. I always tell people, you know, when I speak at senior centers, once you get the knowledge that day, you become an advocate. Advocacy is the atmosphere.
I love it. This is good. So what I heard was one thing that Keisha said about we don't trust the medical profession. I looked at the syphilis study in Tuskegee, and I'm like, these things historically have been there. And then that goes to something that what Charles said about, you know, we have to de-educate ourselves based on some things that we learned before. And then Dr. Brown talked about just education. Knowledge is power. And then Courtney wrapped it up by saying, you know what, we need that community approach again. Who is the advocate for you? And that can be a rhetorical question that everyone that's listening, ask yourself that question. Who is my advocate? If I found myself in a situation where I needed that medical attention, who is my advocate? Who is going to advocate for me? So the next question, I'm going to actually pinpoint that question to each one of you all, because I think all of us can relate. We just had Thanksgiving. Now we're going into Christmas. So this is the season where we just eat. We just eat and have a good time, right? But eating sometimes can cause some concerns, right? So Keisha, from your perspective, working with seniors and being a nurse in the healthcare, how does food intake impact what you see? Okay, so that was your question.
Okay.
And then Courtney, being that health educator, and you know, during the holidays, we throw our diet out the window and say we're gonna start again in January, but it never happens, right? So as that healthcare person, how does that food, what do we need to, how do we need to change our mindset as it relates to food? Charles, for you, what's that relationship between food and mental health? And then for Dr. Brown, how does my food intake impact my eyesight? So go from each one of your perspectives with food, because what I really want our listening audience to know is that we are humans and there's so many parts to us, right? Not just physical, but eye health, not just eye health, but mental health and mental well-being. You know, that we are all, it's a human body, it's one organism. So so Keisha, if you can go first.
Okay. I'm laughing because I ate so much during Thanksgiving, so I should not be answering this question right now. But I do believe that, and we've all heard that your brain and your GI, okay, your gastrointestinal tract, that all connects, okay, and they sometimes, well, they do say that your GI is literally your second brain. So what you put in your gut, it goes to your brain. So you need to have nutritious food so that it can grow good bacteria, so it promotes good brain health. Okay, and if you're putting yucky stuff in your gut, then it's going to change the way your brain operates. And so that does a lot with older adults. Okay, they're already diminishing because of the aging process. So being physically fit has a direct correlation to your health, your brain health, your managing weight, reducing the risk of other diseases. So I just think it relates to how you're going to be affected with chronic illnesses. And as older adults progress with the aging process, I think it's very important for them to understand what they put in their gut is what promotes their brain and everything else that's related to it. So if you want to see healthy aging, then you need to manage what you're eating, and then you need to manage exercising, and all those things directly relate to one another.
Perfect. Thank you. Dr. Brown.
Yes, thank you, Jason.
Eye health and food, talk to us.
Yes, thank you. You know, Thanksgiving was an enjoyable time. And, you know, I always say everything in moderation. You know, you can have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but you don't need to have a lot of it. And I know ham was on the menu for a lot of people during the Thanksgiving holiday there, and it is loaded in sodium. And we have to watch out for these things that's high in sodium and saturated fats, and our processed foods and fried foods. You know, I know a lot of us got excited because we fried that turkey, but you know, everything in moderation there, because we know that it can affect your blood pressure when you are eating certain foods there that's fatty for you. And high blood pressure can lead to hypertensive retinopathy, blood leaking in the back of the eye. The blood vessels going in the back of the eye are very delicate and they can become blocked. There can be plaque buildup in the back of the eye in those vessels and cause that blood to leak into the retina, and that can cause a lot of issues in regards to vision impairment for patients there. And hypertensive retinopathy is one of the 3 silent killers that we continue to try to campaign and educate the public about there, along with glaucoma and diabetic retinopathy there. They can slowly start to steal your vision. So we want people to understand there are foods that's good for you, foods that are rich, a good diet in vitamin A, vitamin C, green leafy vegetables. So if you had collards during Thanksgiving, you're doing great. Give yourself a thumbs up. If you had spinach or kale, you know, give yourself thumbs up there. If maybe you took a bite of an orange for your vitamin C, that's good. You just think about those things and start to incorporate some of the good things into your diet so that it can prevent vision loss and vision impairment as well. It's very important.
Cool deal. How about you, Miss Courtney? That food and your relation to that, to your career. You're on mute, Courtney. You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, I can relate to everyone having a great Thanksgiving. I even took a different route. So usually, you know, with the traditional turkey, I just did a small Cornish hen, and baking. Baking is key. I always share, especially when I go into community talking with my seniors or just groups. If you could choose an option, if you can bake or even grilling, but baking is always a great option. And then the alternatives. So one major thing that I always try to get everyone to understand is my plate. My plate is actually, it is a food nutrition guide that helps you understand how you should actually be dividing your portions on your plate from fruits, grains, vegetables, and proteins and dairy. Here again, I also, with just having just being a mother, with introducing healthy food options to children, introducing different food options as far as side dishes. So like sweet potatoes, a sweet potato souffle that I made. It had the sweet potatoes and then a pecan crust, but you do have to be careful because you have to alternate from that amount of sugar, which it can be sweet. But you can introduce different types of veggies. And so making sure that your plate has more vegetables versus the heavy starches and carbs. And of course, we're going to do the macaroni and cheese and all that great stuff. But alternate with some, like Dr. Brown said, with some green leafy alternatives. And then also with your liquid consumption. That can also cause major weight gain. The sweet tea, just being old Southern Belle, who likes some good old sweet tea. That sweet tea, ooh, that can do something to you, and that glucose level goes sky high. But just water. I offer a lot of water. As when I worked in residential care with residents with Alzheimer's and different type of dementias, the hydration station, water, and if you want to get creative, fresh fruit. Because some alternatives, people put those sugar packs. I'm like, you just added a lot of sugar to your water. You took the natural elements away from what the water is supposed to do. So that's something I also should share working in WIC with my mothers and fathers that would come into WIC appointments. You know, making sure that with your healthy options, get creative and innovative, but don't get so creative to the point that you're stripping away the natural elements of what it's actually supposed to do.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Charles. Food and mental health.
In a gumbo of everything y'all said, I'm gonna regurgitate some things that y'all said, pick and choose everything. But I mean, yeah, like in a nutshell, food is basically kind of like another version of medicine when you think about it. You don't put cheap gas in a Ferrari. So why do we put cheap food in our body? Why do we eat, Frankenstein food? Why do we do these things? Again, lack of resources in some communities, curtails people from being able to get food, like food deserts and stuff, places that you only got fried food and stuff, or sugary foods and stuff of that nature. Back to connecting it with mental health is this: like when I go into clients' homes, one of the first things I ask is, what is your child eating, or what are you eating? Because again, they might be taking certain medication. They might be saying, my kid, they can't focus. They can't do this. They can't do that. Or I can't do this. I can't do that. But, you're feeding your kid, sugar with cereal, artificial sugars with, orange juice and all this concentrated sugars and stuff. You're fixing your kids, and you're wondering why the medicine ain't working. You wonder why they're all balanced. You wonder why they can't do certain things. And, that's the key. You are what you eat. Simple as that. You are what you eat. It messes with in regards to your emotions, your psychological state, like even just how the food filters through your digestive system and go to the organs and the part of your body that you need. That it needs that energy. So if you're giving your body foods that don't have seeds and they don't have life, and what I mean by life, that means foods with seeds, and like Dr. Brown said, leafy foods, kale, ginger, but not ginger. Well, that's how I make my juice. That's a different one. But that's the other thing too. Like just making sure that you have kale, spinach. There's actual foods for anxiety. Sometimes for my clients, I refer them. I'll say, hey, you know what? You might need to eat more salmon. That's a food that curtails anxiety. You might need to eat a little bit more spinach. You might need to get some almonds. You might need to get, go more fruit based, but be balanced with that as well, because too much fruit is also it's natural sugars, and that can still give you a sugar, high. So you want to be balanced in what you do, fruits and vegetables. Also, I have some clients who say, you know what, I don't even want to eat that stuff. Go to Walmart, get a $35 juicer, or $50 juicer, and you get the pure juice from a pressed juice, because the enzymes are bypassing the digestive system, and you just get to swallow. You're still getting the food. You're still getting the healthy food that you need. So that's what I was saying in regards to connecting to mental health. You are what you eat. You want to make sure you put the best, vitamins like vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin A. You want to put that in your. You want to have that. You got to have that. If you ain't having that, then you're playing yourself.
So interesting enough, what I want our listening audience to really understand and really see is that we are holistic when it comes to us as humans, right? And so we just talked about food. And what we saw from a food perspective is that it touches every aspect of our lives. And if we're eating unhealthy food, we're going to have some medical stuff going on from our eyes and physical health, and then it will also impact our mental health as well. So speaking of mental health, someone touched on it about our children, right? So our young people, they don't work. They don't have their own money. So we're the ones that are going to feed them, right, when they come home. So my question is, as adults, how can we ensure that what we put in our children today, from a mental perspective, as well as the physical and food perspective, can you let parents know that what they're doing today is going to impact their children in their adult life? So Dr. Brown, you can talk a little bit about that, and then whoever want to just jump back in. But what we do to our children today, how does it impact them in their adult life from your own profession? Okay, from your own profession, what parents are doing today, how does it impact these young people in their adult life?
Right. We have to be aware that our children are always listening, always watching, and they tend to follow many of the things that we do, some of the things that we say. So always make sure that you are discussing, even if you're not having a regular home cooked meal, talk to them about the importance of that and the ingredients that you're putting in that meal, knowing that as you're preparing those meals or you're providing those meals for your children, it can lead to obesity. There's childhood obesity. It can lead to them moving into that stage of pre-diabetes if they are not eating properly. And we know that that can affect the back of the eye and lead to diabetic retinopathy, where you can lose your vision. It can affect your macula, the part of your eye that gives you your central vision, your 20/20 vision. So I go back to saying again, education is important, and it is important for us as professionals, providers, to continue to educate our communities and educate the public. And that's one of the things that our National Optometric Association strives to do in the Achieve campaign, where they are educating parents about caring for their child's eyes. So, and then one of the things that we also do is that we go into each conference that we have each year for the NOA, the National Optometric Association. We do free eye exams. We go into underserved communities that may not have access to eye care. And we provide eye exams, and they're able to get glasses that same day, as we partner with other vendors like VSP, National Vision, there to provide that service for communities that do not have access and they do not have that education. So I go back to the education, educate your children, parents, educate yourself. Don't be afraid and be in that position where you're expected to know everything. You're not expected to know everything. So be sure to partner with people who are going to provide that level of education for you as well and your family.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I just think that poor psychological health, directly relates to your ability to think clearly, and then your ability to fight off chronic diseases. So if you psychologically as a child are dealing with factors that have increased depression and anxiety, and when you grow older into adulthood, those same behaviors are going to be there, and it's going to affect you in that arena. So that's what I would say about that. And we just talked about how what you eat affects your brain. And so if it's not promoting, good health in that aspect, it's going to, trickle down to adulthood.
Gotcha.
And that also, and I agree with what everyone's saying. It made me think of a quote that Frederick Douglass stated. He said, "It's easier to repair a child than broken men." And that quote just comes so heavily to me working in the field. And it goes further back to us being women as child bearers. What we eat and what we consume while during conception, while pregnant, it affects the fetus. And so just from that, and even counseling mothers, when I did serve as a WIC nutritionist, your eating habits from when you're carrying your child in the womb can determine a lot, because you have where children now are born, or children they are exposed to diabetes at an early age. And some of the most disheartening things that I've seen working in the field, parents that are in denial. You may have a morbidly obese mother, and then when you look at the child, or we do weights and heights and measurements, the child is on the same pattern. And sometimes the parent takes offense, but I'm like, if we don't do something now, it's going to be a major medical tragedy for this child if we don't start right away. And then also something that Mr. Ashley said that was also a good comment with food deserts. So when we talk about equality versus equity, there are some children, which it will go into the mental aspect, where they don't have access to proper nutrition. But here again, that's where, as community health educators and physicians, where we have to be the networking the gap and advocate for them and get them to the right resources, where you have WIC or what community they has a food share, because that has become big since COVID, that there are resources out there. And then if transportation is an issue, how can the village get that to them? So that's one of my main things as I labor and work into this field. If you can't get it, I'm going to get it to you. Or I'm going to connect with coalitions, because there are coalitions in our local counties that do these types of things. But a lot of times villages aren't aware. So that's where, and getting the word out, connecting with your local health department, connecting with social services, we're the ones that can make that happen. And so I always tell people, as they say, well, there's a will, there's a way. If you can't get it, there is no excuse that someone can't help you get to it.
Wow. I like that. I like that. Wow, Charles.
And even, I mean, we have the University of YouTube right now too, so you can find out things like the age of information is at an all-time high. So I mean, if you can find out about your favorite artists, what your favorite celebrities doing, you got to put that effort. We got to stop being lazy as parents, and we got to put the work in. And that goes back to one of the things earlier I was thinking about in regards to what is your ritual. We all have a ritual or your morning routine, right? What are you doing in the morning? Like if you start off by, just doing whatever the case may be that might be unhealthy for you, then guess what? That's what you are. You are your ritual. So waking up in the morning, working out, eating healthy, spending your relationship, praying, meditating, whatever you do, being mindful of that is key. Also, the most important thing is not a school curriculum. It's not even a community curriculum. It's a family curriculum. Your family should be instilling the most important curriculum that the schools don't even care about teaching. So that's another thing in regards to getting people out of the mindset to break down, to build up. So, I heard somebody say earlier, and it made me think about, basically, I think the doctor said pretty much kids like a sponge. They absorb it ain't what you say, it's what you do. So if you go in a home and the parent is not organized, the parent is looking like a kid themselves, the parent ain't worked out since 12th grade, PE, then guess what? They get it honest, and you don't know what you don't know. So, I mean, with that being said, you have to lead by example. Also, developing that relationship too. That's key. Like making sure that you develop a core relationship with your child on top of leading by example. So again, if you're unorganized, you can't tell your kid to be organized. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. Some kids, they have certain personalities. They might be able to bypass that and be the black rose in the concrete, it's saying jungle, but most kids are going to do what you do. Simple as that. Right. And that's what I see when I go into the homes. A lot of times it's not the fact that these kids struggle with intellectual disabilities or diagnosis. Sometimes it's the fact that they're dealing with lazy parents, and the laziness is bypassed went to the home, went to the kids. It pollinates. That's what's going on. That's why I see a lot of times. And it ain't the fact that it's a mental illness or any kind of disability they have. Sometimes it's the fact that they just not really, again, it's laziness. I said it a couple times, but that's it. It's laziness. And also encouraging that kid to challenge them to be able to do better,
Wow.
And I just want to, gosh, that was a lot, but it was good. I'm just going to say, to reiterate, as parents, we influence our child's basic values, and the stronger our relationship is with our children, the more they're going to listen to us, the more that they are going to be influenced by us. So we need to take the time to listen and hear and find out not what's wrong with them, but what's happening with them. So kind of reminds me of something I just did, a panel that we just did about trauma. It kind of relates to what we're talking about right now, but we need to listen to our children and once again, lead by example, like you said, but we have a great influence on them, and we need to make sure that it's a strong one in the right way, in a positive way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have one other thing.
Go ahead, Courtney.
Oh, this is just so good. Mr. Ashley said something just sparked all my little bells and everything going. Being physically active. So as a former athlete and a mother of two active boys, we play ball and they earn those L's. I'm sorry, I'm very competitive. I make my babies earn it. And and peel them away from the video games. Oh my goodness. We are in an era where I grew up, we were outside when the sun came up and you had to be home before the street light came on. But we are now in a generation where the video games are literally raising our children. So not great. So with my boys, we play basketball. I take them to the soccer field and we get it in. I mean, they sleep and then they'll sleep good at night. When the kids tear up the house, take them outside, let them burn off that good energy and exert. That's why I can't stand when schools don't let children have recess. We have a problem, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But I make my babies burn that energy and make it fun. So I used to take dance. I dance battle my kids and it is real. I'm talking about step it up. You got served, all of that. But when you make it fun, They love it. And sometimes they forget about the video game. I'm like, what are you doing? Woo, thank you.
So this is so interesting. Everything that y'all said, when Charles said lazy parents, I wanted to chime in and say we also have lazy communities.
Ooh.
And so I mean we can be here all night, but I think it all goes back to we're talking about these health disparities. Every last one of us represent a different aspect of the person's holistic existence. And we know that these disparities are real, but something that we said today was lazy parents, lazy communities. And so, in other words, we need to get out and do some work to do some community development. Get out and do some work to really change the disparities. But the change starts with us. You brought the video games for the parents. You know your mom or your dad or that senior in your community should not be eating this type of food. But guess what? We cook it and bring it to the house because food always makes us feel good. But we shouldn't be doing that. We know that isolation is not good, but we'll say, oh, well, they just don't want to be bothered, so we're not going to bother with them. So now we're impacting that mental health. We know that little Timmy, he's sitting in the front of the classroom and he can't see. And how can we help little Timmy get these glasses so he won't be feeling in school having the mom to have to take it? So it's a whole cycle, and we have to
now
address these cycles, right? We have to be the ones to do that. So it is 7:57 for the time. But one thing that I do have to say, and I have to ask this question: we all know the myth that Black men don't talk or we don't go to the doctor. How can we address this in our community, especially when the suicide rate is drastically on the rise among Black men and boys? So what can we do to address the health disparities in Black men? And Tim, Dr. Brown, Courtney, Keisha, Keisha, go ahead. How can we address the disparities, health disparities for Black men? Keisha, you're on mute.
I don't know why you started with me on this one, but I want to know myself, why do you all avoid regular doctor checkups?
Yeah.
Good question.
But see, I think that fear plays a factor. The unknown for a man leads to fear, and that fear leads to inaction. And that's why we try to get together as brothers in the community and make sure that we are taking time each quarter or each year to have gatherings where men come together and we have discussions and we let men know it's okay to go and get your prostate checked. It's okay to go and get your eye exam. And I applaud all of the ladies that make sure that they schedule eye exams for their husband, or they call their primary care provider and make sure that they're on the schedule so that their health is a priority. I do believe that a lot of it is just the fact that men do not see it as a priority, or they allow fear to keep them from picking up the phone and calling in to schedule their appointment.
I actually thought it was because you all were so busy. I never thought it was fear. I thought it was the fact that it was, being busy and just other matters. So that really, helped me understand that better.
Yeah,
Because my father never wants to go to the doctor. Never ever wants to go to the doctor. And I'm just like, why? And it's always, well, I don't have time to go today, and I'll go. I mean, so I think now he's saying that he's so busy because of fear.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I find out how? And that's a question that I need to figure out. How do I now talk to him about how he feels to get him to the doctor? So thank you for that.
Yeah, I wanted to say from a female perspective, being a caregiver of my father before he departed, it goes back to that supportive security blanket of being the advocate. My father had a lot of underlying health conditions, and when I looked at the family history on the paternal side of my father, I broke those things down to him and said, Dad, I'm going with you. No, it's not an option. I'm going with you, because if we don't take care of A and B, we're going to have a laundry list all the way up to Z. And that had resonated with him. And then from the mental health aspect, I think one thing that I'm noticing with like younger generation of females, men are put in positions where they can't express themselves, or if they show emotion, or if they share the silent battles that they're facing, that there's ridicule, or they're made to feel a certain way. So here again, being a mother of boys, I think it goes all the way back to when you have little boys, sharing with them that it's okay to cry. Do not hold any emotion, because when you have a child, especially or a male little boy that holds an emotion, when they grow older, we gonna see that come out in ways that's gonna be, we don't want to be incarcerated. But here again, with mental illness and things that are taking place, it can lead that way. And then also just making sure that with our men, that when they express themselves and their emotion, we embrace that, because we are in different times. I root for the queens, but for our kings, males, the black life of a male is being extinguished. And so to keep that going, we have to make sure that when our black males and our brothers are coming to us with health concerns, that we embrace that, and that some of them have to work several jobs, and that we understand that that mentally can break down a male. And then it goes into, like we saying, he said, it may not be time, there may not be enough time, but making time. Okay, let your employer know you got a doctor appointment, you're going. Because prostate cancer, even now with Alzheimer's disease, these are things that our black males are falling into these categories with diabetes and hypertension, even breast cancer, because it's not just affecting women. Males can have breast cancer. So it's just when you know what you know, and then you really support, I think we have a better path moving forward with our men and expressing themselves better, and then doing it in a loving, nurturing way, and not making them feel bad about it, or that they feel ashamed.
Perfect. Thanks. Charles, anything you want to add before we wrap out?
Yeah, real quick. I think what happens is that as we're younger as men, we think that our mortality is never going to fade. And we feel that we, going to be here forever, So we're like, oh, man, people clock out. That ain't going to happen to me. I'm good, right? But as time progresses, that enigma kicks in, that fear kicks in, and you start to say, okay, I'm getting old. I'm feeling pains. I'm feeling things. And it's a buildup of years of not taking care of yourself. So karma comes and collects its debt. And sometimes people just be like, you know what? I know my check engine light is on, but I'm just going, I'd rather just wait till they clock out. Let me just wait till my transmission clock all the way out. Then I'm there, I'd rather know that way. Or I'd rather my girl know, or my wife know, through whatever the case may be, it is what it is with that, So again, it's that. And that's something that we want to do in regards to my practice. We want to make sure that we go into the community and educate dealing with barbershop buzzes. So a lot of therapy goes on in barbershops. And entering and going into that environment, setting time to go there and talk, and also get the barbershop, the barbers to become trauma informed. So getting them to be able to no signs of symptoms, no signs when, okay, this dude, he seemed like he ain't on square anymore. It seemed like he's a little off, So they can be, again, some eyes and some vigilant advocators in the community that can be like, hey, you know what? We got a mental health agency. We know a couple people. We know an agency that has 7 male black therapists, and female therapists as well. We can refer them over here. We want to do that so we can be able to touch the people, because we don't want, again, it's too many fly by nights in regards to just people just they say they're doing the work, but they don't really care. They don't really care. All they care about is this,
Right.
And that's the last thing we need is another people advocating in our situations and what we do for the community. We need to make sure that we really doing it for purpose and being present, not only being present, but being active as well. It's a difference, right? So like some people go to work and be present, but they're not active when it comes to really putting the work in, rolling their sleeves up, and getting this thing done. And that's what it's going to take. Wow. Everybody's going to get on the arc. It's not meant for everybody on the arc. So some men are going to go to the other side. They rather just not know, you know. But again, and all you're getting an understanding, and you want to make sure that you know what you get into and what you sign yourself up for, because you don't want to be the last minute and everything is already clocked out on you.
Wow.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in a barbershop. I would love to listen to people talk in the barbershop. Can I come to the barbershop and just listen?
Now that I'm natural, I know.
Absolutely. So what happens?
Courtney, me and you going to the barbershop.
We gonna go to the barbershop.
But when you think about community, and we have to wrap up, but this is really what you call a discussion to help people understand, and that's what the I Empowerment program was all about. On the National Vision sponsor for the National Optometric Foundation, National Optometric Association, is the I Empowerment was really a community development approach, right? And so I'm gonna use the barbershop for example. Let's say at the barbershop, Keisha shows up as the nurse and she's doing blood pressure checks and all those things and getting individuals connected to what they need to get connected to for their health. Let's say Dr. Brown shows up and is doing eye screenings at the barbershop. Let's say Courtney shows up and demonstrates healthy living, healthy lifestyle, healthy eating. Charles comes to that barbershop as well, and then now addressing us to talk about mental health, because we've been through a lot since 1619, so we can talk about mental health. There's a lot of trauma that goes on. And so what happens is now you're in a barbershop, but now you're not only getting your hair cut so you can look good, but you're getting a holistic approach so that when you leave, you're going to leave better than how it was you came in. That is community development. And so I would challenge any barbershop, or matter of fact, even a hair salon. People are already present. Even if you're a layperson, a pastor in a community, you can easily turn your church, your organization into that place where people are coming to get service. That's what eye empowerment is all about, is to come and address the person's eye health, but their social determinants of health as well. And so, as Tracy said earlier, what National Vision has partnered with us, and we have really served over thousands of individuals in these aspects of community development to really impact social determinants of health. So we have to get out of here. But what I would like for each of you all to do is two things. I need you all to tell your listening audience, if they have any questions, tell your listening audience how people can contact you and anything about you or your business or what have you. And also, if you can leave the listening audience with just a nugget of wisdom, tell them who you are, how they can get in touch with you for some services, but then also a nugget of wisdom that you will want to share. So Dr. Brown, I'm going to jump on you first.
Thank you, Jason. It's been a pleasure to be on here with these great panelists there. Thank you for this opportunity. And I want everyone to know, if you need our services, if you're local, we're located in Augusta, Georgia, 3836 on Washington Road, Insight Family Eye Care. And you can go to our website, insightieaug.com, and you can reach out to us there. We'll be glad to see you and your family for your eye care needs. You can also follow me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on YouTube as well. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on TikTok as Timothy Brown, Mr. Positivity there. I believe that each day you should start your day with a positive thought, a positive word there, and make sure that you are spreading positive vibes. So I want to encourage each of you who may be listening to this tonight, or you may catch this on the replay, to put your health first. Make yourself a priority. To care for others is to first care for yourself. So make sure that you do not delay, but you go and get your exam scheduled today. Contact your primary care provider, contact your mental health specialist, contact your optometrist, and get on their books there and make sure that you're making yourself a priority. And then take time to spread positive vibes across your family.
Cool deal. Thank you, Dr. Brown. Courtney June Wilson.
All right. Again, my name is Courtney June Wilson, and in my expertise, I serve as a community health educator with SEDHEC. And my contact information is area code 843-621-0745, or you can email me at wilsonct@dhec.sc.gov. And something that I just want to share, my vision for the people, for kingdom building, is that once you can obtain information and educate yourself and receive the information that will make you further educated, that you then transform from being educated to advocate. And once you become advocate, you have a voice. So continue to press forward towards the mark and hold on just a little while longer, because everything is going to be all right. And everything is going to be all right.
Come on, Courtney.
Right.
This panel gives me life. I'm ready to
I
go
love it.
in the east and save the world.
Oh my gosh.
Charles Ashley, how do people reach you, and what's those wisdom nuggets, those nuggets of wisdom?
Okay, y'all can reach me at cashley@Lineage Priority. That's my email. Or you can go to lineagepriority.com. That's the website. We're located downtown Raleigh, my office, and Gemma Nuggets. I mean, I'm not really on social media like that. I'm kind of, I really don't do social media, but we're going to set up social media for our practice and everything. We're working on that right now. And my words of wisdom, I guess I can say, true character is who you are when nobody's watching you. And somebody's always watching you. So life is a test. And if you think that you're cheating, if you're cheating and you're getting away with it, you're not cheating on the test maker. Simple as that. So, just always be mindful. Even if you don't have any children, your lineage depends on it. It's been thousands and millions of years of trial and error and survival to get you where you're at. And you don't want to throw that away because, something that happens in the last chapter of your life. The old chapters are of the past. You learn from those, but you should be focused on the present chapter and focus on also how the present chapter can make you a better, best version of you in the future. So again, your lineage depends on it. True character is who you are when nobody's watching, and somebody's always watching.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Keisha L. Hayes.
Hi, this has been magnificent. Thank you so much. You can reach me at www.keishahayes.com. That's Keisha, like on the screen, no I, Kesha, KeishaHayes.com. And I'm all things caregivers, Asian beauties, our older adults. And you've heard me say Asian beauties, and that has nothing to do with gender. That's an older person who has exemplary wisdom, who should be celebrated and valued daily. I love older adults. I love caregivers. I love everything self-care, being boldly inspired. And one thing I'm going to leave with you today is you define your own life. So do not let other people write your script.
Wow. Thank you, panel members. Thank you. So if you all can make sure to stay on for a few after the show. But I want to take the time to thank everyone that tuned in and listened to the National Optometric Foundation Eye Empowerment Panel Discussion. Let's Talk Health. You've heard from some amazing professionals in their arena, from public health to social health to mental health to eye health, to really help the individual holistically heal and live a great life. So again, please visit the website, nationaloptometricfoundation.com, and please subscribe so you can continue to get information for upcoming panels. We appreciate you all, and please continue to live healthy, happy, and you shall be whole when you do all of those things. Take care, have a great evening, and happy holidays.